Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. Today, hey, I'm going over the books that, at least part of the books that I got from a 25-cent book sale. I ended up buying 60. I did a short and I had 54 and I put those in the car and I was like, I just went back in for a quick pass and I ended up finding 6 more that I'd missed, and it was getting real busy and I was like, all right, that's good enough. But this is the first I'm starting to process them, get them out, get my photos going so I can go ahead and get them listed. And thought I'd show you some of these, the first ones that I'm pulling out. So hopefully you guys are finding good stuff. Thank you for the channel support, for the views, for the comments, and as always, you guys keep watching and I'll keep doing these and we'll see what happens. So let's just jump in with what I found and comps and some ideas on some things that I got. So this first set, it's a set of 3. I'll see if you can see them here. It's hard to see it in the light there, but these, I've sold these before, and again, it's 3 of them. Okay, there's 3, and I'll show you what they are. I've had good success with these. They are Encyclopedia Britannicas, and it's a 3-volume set. But what's interesting about these, you see that, like the foxing looking stuff? That's on purpose. These are facsimile copies, and they're printed to look just like the old, like, I guess this is, let's see, so if we do our Roman numerals here, with it's 1771. So these are, I think I'm transcribing my Roman numerals real time there. This is like the facsimile. They're printed to look, and they're printed just like the original ones, and that's in addition to like the old age spots. They're pretty cool. I've sold these before, once or twice, not a lot of times. Don't find them. There's different editions of these too. I think this particular one was of these kind of solid brown, was in the late 70s, early 80s, but $70 to $100 all day long. They'll bring $70 all day long. I may list these for 99, shipping, take best offer, but they should sell somewhere between 70 and 100. So to start off with, for 60 books for a quarter each, and it's like somebody commented on the short that it's like the Black Friday sale, and it does, it does kind of feel like that when they're doing a 25-cent sale, and this will be at least $70. So I spent $15 total at the sale, and I'll make great profit potential on these. I will say too that on my library, some libraries, everything they sell are ex-library books, but a lot of the libraries in this North Alabama area, what I find, a lot of them are not ex-library. Most of them are just donations, and it's a lot of donations, and so you don't have to deal with the ex-library books. So anyway, off to a good start. Now this one is musical applications of microprocessor. I just thought that was cool. On Amazon, I'm probably going to end up selling this on eBay, most of this on eBay, just because some of these are going to be real long tail books. This has like an E-score of 3, so it's only like 3 of these have sold on Amazon in the last 6 months. So it's not going to sell real quick, but it's a $73 to $100 book. I think I can list it on eBay for 40 to 50, and I'll have a chance to sell it there really, much easier. So, and not have to worry about it aging and all that stuff. So kind of a cool one. And I will say, for me, when I go to these library sales, they're so crowded, I really do not break out the scanner. If I get into a little corner where there's just something, but for 25 cents each, I'm approaching most of this just by my eye. I'm just, something I know or I like, or taking a chance on it, because it's so crowded and there's so many people going. And quite frankly, my strategy is I like to hit the technical books and I like to hit the science fiction, and after that, they usually have a holding area that I can put some books in, and then I like to just kind of to weave through the aisles. And if you sit there and try to scan every single thing, you're not going to make it through a very big section, and all the other sections are going to be hit. So I was like number 15th in line, and I hit some good stuff. But one of my competitors, who always hits the science fiction first, I know he hit some science fiction I would have loved to have, but you pick your spot. Either you can't do it all at once, but that's part of the fun. So one sci-fi book I got, I'll show you some of those. Asimov Foundation Trilogy. There's older versions of this. It has all the Foundation books in it. Unfortunately, it had a little bit of a rip here on the dust jacket. It'll still bring like 12 bucks. So for a quarter, it's pretty good. I've sold it several times. Here's an old Ace. When I see these, you know, the older Ace paperbacks, I always pick them up. First off, they're super cool. And even if I might want to just keep them in my collection of sci-fi books, but this one's got, it sells for 10 bucks. I've got a sold comp on it for like 12. So, you know, not bad for a quarter. I'll just kind of going through some more of these. Here's one, you know, sci-fi wise. It's only like 3 bucks. A cool Asimov, Earth is Room Enough. I may wait until I have other sci-fis. You know, I don't think I'll keep this one in my collection. Sometimes I get some older ones and I'll bundle them together for a quarter a piece. That's not bad. Here's 2 copies, an older copy and a newer version of Rudy Rucker's software. Cyberpunk. He writes, there's one that's software, wetware, firmware maybe. I don't know, there's like 3. Whenever I see these, I pick them up. Cyberpunk stuff works, sells really good. I've sold Rudy Rucker's books on this before. I made this one has, you know, dog ear, but for a quarter I got them. We'll see how they end up doing. Okay, here's the cool. This always brings back just lots of good memories, but Gary Gygax, his Gord the Rogue, he wrote several Gord books. This one will bring 10 to 15. I've got sold comps all over the place, but this one's actually in really good condition, so I think it'll bring at least 12 or 13 nice 25-cent paperback. And you know, this, if you don't know Gary Gygax, you know, the original Dungeons and Dragons TSR, he was one of the main guys on that, right? So creating all that, really big in the fantasy role play type stuff, you know, in the 70s, but pretty cool. Along those lines, this is one that's kind of interesting. This is the Greyhawk Adventures, okay, and it started off with book 1, again by Gary Gygax. And here, I'll show you. I'm missing one. All right, there might be actually 7 in this series, but I know there's 6. I'm missing book 4. The first couple were done by Gary Gygax. Then Rose Estes did the other ones. Cool covers, right? Kind of cool. Here's my thing I'll have to figure out on these. I'll have to decide, all 6 of them together, if I had the 6th one, sell for about $80 to $90, okay? So I'm gonna look at these and see what I can just get for selling 5, missing book 4. It could be, I got different strategies on these. Sell as is. If I can sell these for like together, the lot of 5 for 50 bucks, just sell it, be done with it. If the price doesn't seem to command that, or if I can't, maybe I'll sell them individually for $10 or $15 each. Okay, that might be a way to go. If I could sell them, you know, together for 50, why sell them separately for 10 for the amount of work, right? If I can't command a higher price. But one thing I was thinking on these, I may look and see about buying book 4, getting that on eBay myself. Then I could sell all 6 together, and I've got multiple sold comps on these between $80 and $90, about $89 plus shipping. So it could be worthwhile of buying the one, put it together, and then relisting them as the set. So I'll decide what I'm going to do on it. It's, you know, it just shows you that sometimes there's options, right? At 25 cents each, it's hard to go wrong. This was kind of cool. It was just sitting there, and it's 5. I think with the box and the directions, which this has, it will sell for 20 bucks, 15 to 20. But it was an old PC game. It was the Dungeons and Dragons Birthright game. Now the box got a little crush on it on the back. You can see that. So maybe it's on like 15 bucks. But all the directions, I checked it. All the directions, the PC CD DVD game inside it looked great. So that'll be good. Then this was kind of a weird one, man. It was just sitting there. It's sheet music. The Beatles Yesterday. Actually, this was the original. This was 1965. See right there. So I see these routinely selling for that $10 to $12 range. Some people sell multiple copies. You see a few sell for 5. I'll list this for 10. It'll be easy shipping. Be good. The last kind of sci-fi thing, and I'll switch gears. This was interesting. I read this series years ago. Ursula, how do you say her name? Ursula Le Guin, I think. Le Guin. The Earthsea trilogy. It was a good series. This is an old box set, slipcase. It's got a little bit of, you know, got a little wear, but it's not really split. You know, it's still intact everywhere. I see these selling for, I've got a little note here, $15 to $50. I think in this condition, and the condition of the books are in good condition too, all right? I think I can get $35 to $40 for this. I see them at $30, $30 to $35, $30 to $39 a lot. Better conditions are more, I saw one that looked like it was pristine, and it sold for like, had sold component for like 70. I think I can get at least 30 for this, so with the slipcase. Very cool. All right, we'll switch gears now on that stuff and give you a few others kind of cool. These, how many of you guys, I don't even know if there's any of them still there. How many remember Radio Shack? Remember Radio Shack if you needed something? Or the best or the worst about Radio Shack, remember how they always sold like the RC helicopters or RC cars or whatever, and they always were cool, and they were like one of the few places that had them, and you'd get them, and I swear you would use them for 5 minutes and they would break. It didn't matter, you know, this is all the way back in my memory, like the 70s. You take something from Radio Shack out and it would break. But, you know, they always had electronics, or you know, it was a great place to get, you know, at the time, batteries, or if you were doing a science project, you needed resistors, capacitors, but Radio Shack, right? Well, they wrote a lot of, back in the day, they had a bunch of manuals, and these are like, there's Understanding Digital Electronics, Understanding Solid State Electronics, here's Understanding Microprocessors and Digital Electronics. Well, I've got a sold comp on this one for 15, and I think I've got a sold comp on one of these others for like 12. I'm probably gonna put these together and ask 50 bucks for them. They're kind of cool whenever I see these, and you'll see on these, it's not just Radio Shack. They were sold at Radio Shack, but a lot of times when I see stuff, old Texas Instruments stuff, I look for it. Okay, it's when I see it, I look it up. I try to, you know, but a quarter piece, I just got these, and it turns out to be good. Here's one on this book, The Best Beginning Drummer Book. It actually has a code, and I've got sold comps on this for 20 bucks, so it's a good one. It's just sitting there. Here's a couple of technical books. Again, some of these, especially in a sale like this, you really want to look them up, but you don't have that much time. I kind of just use my intuition, my eye. Here's one, and sometimes it doesn't hit. You'll get one that'll be worth $2. It's not worth your time, but again, at a quarter a piece. Here's one, Optomechanical Systems Design. This thing's sold on Amazon for about 50 bucks, but it's only selling about one every 3 months or so. Only sold 2 in the last 6 months. I'll probably put this on eBay still for the long term. Ask 35, 40 bucks for it. It'll sell. And a similar one. Here's Optical Shop Testing. I thought this was cool. Optical Shop Testing. I think, you know, you're doing lenses and got lots of math in it, of course. You know, setting up all your lasers and optical systems. Kind of cool. But this one I've got $50 sales on Amazon, but it's real thin, like one every 6 months. So this will go on eBay. Again, I'll list it for maybe 35. Put a good price on it. Somebody's looking for it. Hopefully it'll sell. I'm willing to take that for a quarter to turn it into 30 or 40 bucks. I'm willing to do that on some of these, right? I mean, you don't want all your inventory to be that way, but for me, I've got some space. I'm okay with it being that way, and, you know, doesn't have to flip. Obviously, I'd love for it to flip quick, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So, all right, this is cool. Whenever I see this stuff, I buy it, all right? Ripped, and ripped too. Look, there's this guy. I don't know this guy, but Clarence Bass, boy, he's ripped. These two things will sell together for 12 to 15 bucks. But sometimes this kind of really extreme workout stuff, it can sell really expensive. So when I see this stuff, I always look at it. Again, a quarter piece, I picked these up. They'll sell for about $15 each. Here's one on Identification Guide, North American Passerines. I think it's bird identification. This is an earlier edition. So talk about birds. It's an earlier edition, and everything you want to know. It sells for about 20 bucks. I don't think this will be a quick seller either, but it's okay. 15 to 20 bucks. The newer versions are more like 40, I think. All right, let's get into the last 2 or 3 items here. I think it's the last ones I'm going to show right now. If you've never looked for these or never seen them or never paid attention to them, this book right here is something that can make you a lot of money. And it's Alcoholics Anonymous books. Okay, here's an A. You can see the AA on Alcoholics Anonymous. Dust jacket's missing. All right, it does have something. Somebody had a piece of newspaper or something in here and has a name. All right, what you always do on these is you look here on the print. Well, this is the 16th printing, 1974. This is the big book, right? And you know, I think some people collect these. I think some people, they go back and get the one maybe that marked, you know, a special moment. Maybe it was where they started their sobriety, their sober living. But regardless of what it is, as a bookseller, these will bring, you know, these will bring good money. This particular one, 1974, 16th print, I've seen bring between $30 and $70. Without a dust jacket, it's routinely in that $50 range. Older ones can bring several $100s. Newer ones can bring, you know, 10 or 20 pretty easy. But whenever I see these, I always look for them. Now, this one does have a name in it. I would prefer it not to have anyone's name. Sometimes, of course, people write a lot of notes. This one has a little bit of underlining, but it's not heavily written, and it is that 16th print, 1974. So anyway, they're great collectibles. They're great resellers. If you, when you see the AA books, the big blue book, and there's different ones that supplemental books that'll sell too. But as a reseller, when you see these, look at them. They're easy to remember. When you look at them, check out the condition, look at that print, you know, which printing it is, and kind of see what your comps are on eBay. It's a pretty easy sale. This one should bring 40 to 50, I believe. So that's good. Okay, last 2. I want to show you the difference on these. 2 copies. I got notes here, so I'll keep them apart. 2 copies of Betty Crocker's cookbook. All right. I've talked about these in the past. Whenever I see Betty Crocker cookbooks, I always get them. This one is about a $20 copy. It is, they call it the pie. It's the red pie. This comes in a 5-ring binder version, which could be quite expensive. This particular one though, and this one sells for 20. This one's got a couple of flaws. I think it's only about 15. Somebody's cut their name out or something. But when you open it up, you see the Sears. This is the holiday Sears edition. You can see, remember Sears, another thing. Other than the names and that little cutout, this one's in really good shape, okay? Comparatively, it's got some rub. Probably will be a 15. I may ask 18 or 20 bucks for it, but that's just the 72 Sears edition. Now, when I saw these were right together, looks exactly the same. You can't tell from the outside, looks the same. And look, Betty hadn't aged. Betty's the same age on both. So, but I would buy them regardless, even if they were both Sears. But this one, when you turn it, first off, it doesn't have that cutout. That's cool. Look, it doesn't have the Sears thing. And as a matter of fact, this one is the 1969 first, okay? This one's worth more. It will bring at least 25, sometimes 35 to $40. This is the hardback one, not this. There's one version that's kind of got spiral bound here, and there's one version that's in the 5-ring binder where you can take the pages out. That's the best one. But this one, first edition, 1969, I would have bought these regardless, whichever ones they were. This one will bring more, and it's actually in a little better condition. Has some edge wear, but has a little nick right there. But overall, this one's in better condition. I may ask 35 for this one, given the condition of it, and no names, pretty clean. So, and look at Betty. from 1969 to 1972, she didn't change. She's aging gracefully. That's it. And that's not all, but like I said, I had 60. We're already like at 20 minutes on this video, so if I'd done 60, it'd been like an hour. And I got to get these processed, so I'll start taking my photos, get them out, and then I'll work on the second half. That's one thing that's a downside, if there is a downside of a big sale like that, or when you do a big buy, is that it's a lot of books coming in at once, and you got to stay on top of it, right? You got to list it so they can sell. So sometimes that can get you behind on that front, but all in all, has some great profit potential here, several $100 profit potential for a total of $15 for the 25-cent book sale. And I know some of you guys are thinking, man, even at book sales in my area, they're only $1 or $2, and that's unfortunate. And I'm very lucky here in this area to be able to go to a 25-cent sale. So it's always like Christmas. It's like Christmas in June this year with this one. So anyway, see cool, buy cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and the comps and the things that I like to buy help you recognize stuff so that you can buy them and make good profit yourself. So, and remember, subscribe if you haven't done it, and keep watching. Look forward to your comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.